Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 4, unit 4, however you like to phrase it. We're pushing toward the end, and you guys are doing great work in the discussion. I see some classes that they're almost discussion adverse. You guys are very pro discussion, and it's not one liners. That's the part that I really enjoy. When you respond to your peers, you're providing excellent in-depth commentary, comments, questions that engage and support the discussion. So kudos on that. It really makes my job easier when I come to grading, and I'll be honest with you, I love to teach. But if I had to rate the things that I don't care to do, grading discussions would be at the top of the list. I like to engage in the discussions. I like the exchange of information and ideas, but I hate grading it because it's just not my thing. So that as an aside, kudos on the great work that you guys are doing with the discussions. One of the things that I do want to quickly emphasize, I've seen this with several of you, and I put comments in your papers and such, but don't take it as a disheartening comment. I probably need to, at the beginning of the unit, put a video together or discussion or something like that. Several of you kind of blended the job description and the job post, and really those two are separate things. Now, I will tell you, used to be, that was kind of the standard. You needed a material handling clerk. You went and got the job description and you sent it to the newspaper and you said, we need a material handling clerk and I want you to take, and they would highlight the job description and say, take these things and put this in the paper. And of course, the newspaper, they either charged by the word or they defined a size and charged you for what you could put wording wise in this particular size area. So imagine they would say, okay, we're going to give you the area of half of a 3x5 index card, and that's what you get. So the hiring manager would highlight and say, well, they got to have 5 fingers or whatever the qualifications might be or things like that. With the advent of technology, there wasn't as much emphasis on space. So companies started to kind of expand, and they would just ship over the job description and say, post this. And what ended up happening was the applicant at that time would see it and go, oh, okay, I'm qualified or I'm interested, not knowing anything about the company and things of that nature, which, several of you mentioned providing some information about the company. That's excellent for a job advertisement, completely unnecessary for a job description. The job description should focus on the position and why it exists. So essential functions, why does that job exist on a day-to-day basis? What do they do? And then, of course, what do we look for in a candidate in terms of education, experience, skills, knowledge, things of that nature that will help them be successful. Some of you mentioned pay. Several states are moving toward pay transparency. So again, probably won't see that in the job description. I've seen some that will say, this position's in pay range 5 or whatever that particular pay range is, because at that point, it's a broad concept. Or you might see a monetary range, $60,000 to $80,000. I don't have a problem with that so much, but again, a lot of times that's more of a job advertisement than job description. But on the cool side, I did see several of you mention the EEO statement. Again, more job description than more job ad than job description. But those are things you don't typically think about, but we need to. That's really good work. So overall, the sample job descriptions that you all submitted were some of the best I've seen. I know previously I mentioned please don't copy and paste, don't plagiarize. I didn't see any of that. everybody submitted original work and really did some cool job descriptions. There was some great stuff out there. So you guys are doing great work, and I want to commend you on that. And hopefully your grades, if you're a grades person, that reflects that. But if not, reach out to me and we can visit. Not that I'm necessarily open to changing your grades just because you think you should have got an A or something. But obviously we want to make sure that you're getting the education that you need. And that's my end goal, is to help you achieve your degree and be successful. So I'm already a little longer into this than I hope to be. So let's quickly talk about Unit 4. We're going to talk a little bit. You can see we're looking at compensation and how it pertains to various employee types. So they mention exempt, non-exempt, and independent contractor. The Department of Labor and the IRS both have very stringent views on employees versus independent contractors. So you have to be careful with that. And most organizations do, but there's occasionally that effort to go, let's hire them as an independent contractor and not an employee, and we'll get away with not paying benefits and the FICA taxes and contributing to their 401k and all those things that we do with employees. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. The other thing is exempt versus non-exempt. This can be kind of confusing because typically exempt is synonymous with a salaried employee. However, there are exceptions to that, rare as they may be. And then non-exempt is typically hourly. So a non-exempt employee is not exempt from overtime requirements, meaning anything over 40 hours, they get paid time and a half. And I'm talking federally. There's a number of states and even cities that have minimum wage laws and things like that. So for the purpose of this class, if you, for example, are in California and they have very different state level overtime laws, and you go, well, that's not what the instructor said. I'm looking strictly at federal, because where you end up or where you are may be very different in terms of minimum wage, overtime, and other compensated type working conditions. So non-exempt means they are not exempt from overtime. They get paid overtime, anything over 40 hours. Exempt, they are exempt from overtime. So they work 80 hours in a week and not get overtime. However, the flip side of that is I'm exempt, so I could leave early today, and I probably will. I still get paid my same salary. Now, there again, vacation and sick and some of those things come into play, and as it pertains to that, but don't get hung up on the little parts of that. So you can see the assigned reading and preparation activities. There's some reading and some videos. As with most of the classes, we have a couple of discussions. We're going to talk about incentive programs. That's a often common way of trying to attract and retain talent without giving them a raise. We're also going to talk about benefits. You can see how do we, offer benefits that help attract and retain talent while not breaking the bank. And then lastly, we're going to have a written assignment where we talk about employment classifications. Goodness, apparently I need more coffee this morning. So with that in mind, I'm going to close out. I hope everybody has a great week. If you need something, please reach out. I'm happy to visit with you at any time. Thanks.